And for 8 days, I was locked in a room and I was not sleeping. So I don't know if anyone in this room has ever been up for 8 days straight without sleeping.
Yeah.
But you start thinking and seeing weird shit, man. And
I ain't never did it, so.
Well, yeah. Well, don't. Now's not the time to start.
I ain't never did it. I'm trying to.
Yeah, now's not the time to try it. So
Are you 28 at this time?
I'm 28.
Okay, cool.
8 days straight, dude. I was pissing in a corner in bath towels. The only time I'd go out of my room was I was a socket that you would do a bolt with. You know, a socket, a wrench.
Yeah.
I had a socket. I was gutting extension cords and packing it with the like the copper or whatever in the extension cords, and I put my crack on top of that. And then I go out to the stove. It was a gas stove. I had to get so close to the stove, I was burning my face. So at the end of this, I had no eyebrows, no eyelashes. I had golf ball, baseball size blisters on my cheeks. I'm 135 pounds. And my last day of using, I heard the helicopters swarming the house. I heard the ambulance and the police cars coming down the street. They kicked the front door open.
Imagination, huh?
They brought the stretcher in. And I was in my bed sweating bullets. It was the middle of the day, in my underwear, just sweating. And my mom was outside with the ambulance crying hysterically, the paramedics saying, he's dead, just leave him alone. And my brother was out, wrestling around with him. And finally they got everyone calm. They got him pushed back. And they were like, on 3, we're going to kick the door in and go in and revive your son. Because they all thought I was dead. And I remember, dude, I was just laying in there like this, gripping the sheets. And they said, 1, 2, I fucking jump out of bed, open the door, and I'm like, I'm alive. And I was literally standing in the hallway by myself. There was nobody there. And I used to always say, when someone asked me that story, I hallucinated it. But it was a power.
It was real.
It was real.
Yeah.
It was real. It was a power way greater than me saying, hey, kid, you either get clean or you're gonna die.
Yo, what's good? What's popping with everybody? It's your boy, Abram Mitchell, and you are now tuned in for another episode of the Triple M Show, where you get to unlock the secrets of real money-making mindset. Real numbers, real people that's out here actually doing what they say. And today, man, I have the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Eric Cline. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me out here.
Man, appreciate you coming out here, bro.
For sure.
I got a funny story, man.
Yeah.
Because this started probably, I would say it officially started at the Dallas event, the last Freedom event.
Yeah, for sure.
It was over there. But we met a few times here and there before then. We met, I think the first time we met was at Tony Romero's event in Milwaukee.
Yes.
That's the first time I seen y'all, and that's because they put the spotlight on y'all. And I think that's when you and your partner, Tony, y'all was like, I don't know, whatever y'all was at, another million, whatever. It was somewhere there, and they were talking about how y'all did so many deals so quickly.
Yeah.
And I remember, this is a transparent moment for everybody. I remember, because if you in the wholesale industry, you used to cap.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cap. I remember being in the event, whatever the numbers was, it sounded like cap. I was like, who them dudes is? I think I was with Rodarius, my dog. Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan. I was like, man, them dudes capping. I don't want to hear none of that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't nothing too much of that. I think fast forward, we was at another All In Freedom event, and that's when we was at the, I got a good memory, I'm young. We was at the VIP party, and Chris Rude was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you and him was talking, we was all talking, we was having a conversation. I'm not gonna say this on camera, but you said something to Chris, and when you said that to him, I was like, "Oh, this dude, he." You said something to Chris. It involved multiple 7 figures, not just one. It involved multiple. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "All right, this dude, real deal." And we was talking there, but then we fast forward to the Dallas event. That's like our 3rd time seeing each other, and then we was on stage getting the award, and that's where we, finally got to, have a real conversation.
Yes.
And that's when I was like, man, you should come on the show. And we've been, back and forth trying to get the show booked.
Yeah.
And we moved a couple times. What's crazy is I wake up this morning, and when I seen that text, I said, Eric coming to town today. I was like, oh shit, we should.
Damn right.
We always ready. We stay ready, so we ain't got to get ready. But I honestly forgot that we were shooting the show today, like this morning.
I love it.
Because we had a floating, it's been moving, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, man, for flying in town today. How was the flight?
It was good. Yeah, I've been flying
a
a lot lately, so
you've
I
been
like the
moving
short
around.
ones. The hour and a half is good. Anything more than that? Oh.
Yeah. The time change a little, with you like an hour behind right now.
Yeah, we're East Coast.
East, so we're on Central Time right now. But man, bro, I want to get straight into it, bro. Tell the people, who is Eric Cline?
Man, 42 years old, out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Been like for the listeners, I come from the mud, man, and I mean that when I say that. Like if I rewind back to 28 years old, I was the white dude, the white crackhead running around the Cabrini Green projects, trying to find my next hit. And if anybody knows Chicago, and if you've heard of the Cabrini Green projects, it ain't nowhere for a white dude like me to be hanging out. And the drug that brought me to my knees was crack cocaine.
Okay.
And at 28 years old, I had people asked me how'd you stop? And it was the first time in my life, because from 13 to 28, I was heavily addicted to narcotics and alcohol. Heavily.
You said 13?
From 13 to 28. The first time I ever put booze to my lips, I blacked out drunk, and I loved the feeling.
Okay.
First time ever.
13 years old.
First
Where
time
you was
ever.
at? Like, what kind of
was at a buddy's house, man.
All right.
And my parents were going through a divorce, and it was an ugly time in my household, and I didn't want to feel any of it. And I remember drinking at 13 at a buddy's house, blacked out, and I loved the way I felt because I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
And that went on for 15 years, man.
Man, that's deep what you just said. You said, I love the way you felt. This is how you know this coming straight from experience. You know what I'm saying? Because you said, I love the way I felt because I didn't feel anything. Now put yourself in the shoes to our viewers of a child that's in a household of divorce, And I think sometimes you don't understand how situations affect somebody that's in that moment. Somebody might look at that situation that's an entrepreneur that's dealing with other things in life and be like, that ain't that bad. But I remember when I was a kid, the number one thing I was scared of was my parents getting a divorce. They still together to this day. But that was the number one thing that I was scared of was them getting a divorce. So like you said, you loved that feeling because you didn't have to feel
it
that your parents getting a divorce. So that's just something to the people that is raising kids, and you got to understand how important it is, like having that structure, that foundation of a together household. So,
well, dude, marriage. My father-in-law, before he passed away, he brought me and my wife out on my back porch. A few months before he passed, and he was telling me, Eric, the only thing I pray is that you take care of my girls. And he said, he looked at me in the eyes and he goes, because he was married 42 years, and he goes, it ain't always going to be easy being married to my daughter. He's like, but it's always worth it if you truly love her. And marriage is just like anything, man. You got to work at it. You got to work on being a good father. You got to being a good spouse. Like, marriage is work.
Now peaches and cream.
No, man. It's work. I've been with my wife now coming up on 15 years.
Yeah.
And we've been business partners for 14 of it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you got a marriage within the marriage,
Dude, and for us, we're both recovering addicts. Like, my wife used to bang heroin. I used to smoke crack. And she met me. So the way I quit using, because a lot of people ask me the question, how'd you quit? And so for everyone has their own bottom. And I'd always tried getting clean for someone else other than myself. I tried getting clean to save a job, save a relationship, save a roof over my head. I never was getting clean because I wanted to get clean. I was getting clean to try and please somebody else. And so we all have our bottoms. And for me, I was a union carpenter out of Chicago,
Okay.
and I was blackballed from every job site. I literally was not allowed on any union job site.
They knew you already.
Yeah, like I was on a list. I was on a black list, and so I was unemployable at the time in the career path I was in, or the arena I was in, and I was for the last 8 days of my using, I was able to get, it was $3,500 out of my annuity. Okay. I told him I was getting evicted. You know, I painted a story. I was a manipulator.
Sales.
Yeah. And I was able to get $3,500 out of my annuity. I was renting a house from a Chicago police officer.
Okay.
He would rent rooms to college students. And I was the only one in there, not a college student, but it was summertime. They were all home. We'd visit in their families. So I was there by myself. And the dope man would literally come to the back door like clockwork. He would know when I needed a fix. And for 8 days, I was locked in a room, and I was not sleeping. So I don't know if anyone in this room has ever been up for 8 days straight without sleeping.
Yeah.
But you start thinking and seeing weird shit, man. And
I ain't never did it, so.
Well, yeah. Well, don't. Now's not the time to start.
I ain't never did it. I'm trying to.
Yeah, now's not the time to try it. So
Are you 28 at this time?
I'm 28.
Okay, cool.
8 days straight, dude. I was pissing in a corner in bath towels. The only time I'd go out of my room was I was a socket that you would do a bolt with. You know, a socket, a wrench.
Yeah.
I had a socket. I was gutting extension cords and packing it with the like the copper or whatever in the extension cords, and I put my crack on top of that. And then I go out to the stove. It was a gas stove. I had to get so close to the stove, I was burning my face. So at the end of this, I had no eyebrows, no eyelashes. I had golf ball, baseball size blisters on my cheeks. I'm 135 pounds. And my last day of using, I heard the helicopters swarming the house. I heard the ambulance and the police cars coming down the street. They kicked the front door open.
Imagination, huh?
They brought the stretcher in. And I was in my bed sweating bullets. It was the middle of the day, in my underwear, just sweating. And my mom was outside with the ambulance crying hysterically, the paramedic saying, "He's dead, just leave him alone." And my brother was out, wrestling around with him. And finally they got everyone calm. They got him pushed back. And they were like, on 3, we're going to kick the door in and go in and revive your son. Because they all thought I was dead. And I remember, dude, I was just laying in there like this, gripping the sheets. And they said, 1, 2, I fucking jump out of bed, open the door, and I'm like, I'm alive. And I was literally standing in the hallway by myself. There was nobody there. And I used to always say, when someone asked me that story, I hallucinated it. But it was a power.
It was real.
It was real.
Yeah.
It was real. It was a power way greater than me saying, "Hey kid, you either get clean or you're gonna die."
Yeah.
And that was August 9th of 2009, man. I got it tattooed on my knuckles. I've been clean ever since.
Damn, bro. And
Yeah.
I heard you tell, I seen, man, I feel like I seen you talk about, bro, this is how you know, bro, your stories don't change at all. Like some of these
It's just
cappers,
real.
Some of these cappers out here, like, they don't realize, wait, you just said this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your stories don't change, bro, but like, man, that's crazy, to go through something like that. And, bro, I mean, I didn't have dreams before. I just had a dream. What's crazy is I had a dream yesterday. I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but I had a dream yesterday, but for some reason I had to get rid of 5 people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was for self-defense. And I knew that, but I just remember being so scared that I was about to go to jail. But this dream, and this was a nap in the middle of the day that I took yesterday.
Damn.
And it felt so real. Like when I woke up, my heart was beating fast. And I'm like, is God like it? Sometimes like I feel like when you have those random dreams that you can remember and they feel so real, it's like some type of message, you know what I'm saying? So like whether it's a dream, hallucinating, like
whatever,
that happened for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
Did.
And like a lot of people that's in your situation have those same exact experiences, but 99% of them still
they don't
go
do
the
nothing
wrong
with it.
They don't do nothing with it. So why you think you was the person that did something with it. That was like, okay, I'm done. Because you making it sound like easy, like, hey, I stopped on this day, but like that's probably one of the hardest things.
Oh, it was not
done
easy.
Still,
yes,
probably.
It is my biggest accomplishment today.
Yeah.
Today, because I was, again, for 15 years, man, I was ripping and running. I was stuffing feelings for 15 years. So when I decided that day to get clean and literally saved my life, all those feelings and insecurities and self-doubt, like they were magnified at the highest level.
Yeah.
So, just because I said since that day, I haven't put a mood or mind altering substance in my body, well, I'm coming up on almost 15 years clean. But dude, there's been days within the last year where I'm down on my hands and knees praying to God.
Yeah.
Let me get through one more day of just being a good dude. So like it's those days are far and few between now, right? But like, dude, my first 30 days I spent on my hands and knees crying, praying to God that I like literally, please let me get through this next 30 minutes. Like fight for my life internally.
You 28 years old and you're literally probably at the point where you like feel like you starting from scratch again. Like you got to rebuild everything.
Oh, I was starting from scratch, brother.
Exactly. And not even just the finances.
Yeah.
Mentally, like
everything.
You starting a whole new beginning. So like you said that you was praying to God. Is that something you started at that, like whenever you decided to get clean? Did you start like praying more and stuff like
100%.
Okay.
I knew this was not my own doing. I knew that, right? Yeah. I had tried doing it Eric's way for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
And it always wound me up right where I was, right?
You run in circles.
It was dog chasing his tail.
Ain't that crazy how that happened, bro?
Yeah.
Like this happens multiple times. I'm young, bro. So
how old are you?
I'm 26.
Damn, bro.
So they be all good. I'm 26. You know what I'm saying? So like, I get to these points and I relate everything to entrepreneurship. But like every time I'm at this glass ceiling, but for me it's a titanium ceiling.
Yeah.
It's like you always know what you got to do.
Yep.
Because God he makes it clear. You know, like people feel like it ain't clear. He makes it clear, but we so hard-headed. And like you will keep trying to do it your way and you will keep running right back into the same spot until you get to that spot and you say, all right, God, I'm going to do it your way.
Yep.
And then everything that you wanted to happen happens this easy, you know?
Yeah.
So like, that's another thing like that you said that I could relate with. Like you said, I was doing it my way.
Didn't work.
And then when I finally changed it, because you probably had a bunch of opportunities before that.
Of course.
And then, you know what I'm saying, finally when I was like, all right, I'm going to listen.
Yep.
Boom, look where we at now. You know what I'm saying? Because we going to talk about it now. This led you to the business that you was about to exit for
Big boy
a high price. Yeah.
Big
so
boy money.
I feel like I'm fast forwarding a little bit. So, all right, boom, at 28, you finally put it down.
Yep.
Now you rebuilding yourself. You're going through the withdrawals, all that. Did you have to like check in the rehab? Did you have to do? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I went I've been up to this point, you know, I went through multiple treatment centers.
Yeah.
But again, it was never for me. I was doing it for someone else. So this time around, a buddy of mine put me on a plane, flew me down to, now when I left Chicago, I literally had $8 to my name. And, I left Chicago with nothing, not even a backpack on my back.
That was the 3,500. You spent it all the way down
smoked
to $8.
it all in less than a week, right? Yeah. Caught a train back to my hometown and, right outside of Chicago. And there was a buddy of mine that let me stay with him for 29 days to keep me clean. And those were the days where I was, praying nonstop, just, emotional, just a wreck. And he put me on a plane, flew me down to Fort Lauderdale. And I checked myself into a treatment center because I had 60 days left on my insurance through the union.
Okay.
And the treatment center in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, they accepted me in there. So I stayed there for 60 days. And for the first time, they were like, hey, when you get out of treatment, we suggest you go and live in a halfway house.
Okay.
And I was like, they say it, I'm going to do it. If they think this is best for me, I'm going to do it. Went to a halfway house And
now you mix with people that's just getting out of jail and stuff, right?
Yeah, getting out of jail, getting out of treatment. Like, it's
a couple of my homies in and out halfway houses, and
And
after they do like a bid and they getting short,
So I lived there for 6-7 months. Didn't have any money in the very beginning. Like, I met my today wife 3 days before I got out of treatment. You know, they used to put us in this white van and bring us to these outside meetings. And, you know, when my wife walked through the door, and, you know, I was in an all-male facility, but I was serious. Like, I was really there to get clean and save my life. And my wife walked through the door 3 days as we're sitting in there, and she walks in. I was like, God damn, dude. And we've literally been together ever since. Ever since that. Ever since. I got out of treatment. She, you know, was paying my halfway house rent for me. She was buying me clothes to try and go and find a job. Like, dude, she bet on a fucking junkie. Yeah. Like, she saw something in me way before I saw it in myself. Yeah. And long story short, I ended up getting into a call center. They accepted guys that looked like me. I couldn't find a job. Yeah. And I got into a call center.
You're still 20? All right.
I was 28.
All right, cool.
You know, 28, coming up on 29 years old. All right. And the first call center I got into, man, I was there for 1.5 years. I became their #1 sales guy over the phone. I mean, you know, I had the... I was getting people to sell me dope bags real cheap for years. So like I didn't even know the negotiating skills I had. Yeah, already. But I never even thought about that. I don't even actually talk about that ever until right now. Like,
it's crazy though,
I was getting the dope man to get me bags cheap for a long time.
But nah, bro, that makes sense though, because I talk about transferable skills. So like, I try to make people understand, like, you already doing this in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you just doing it for a different vehicle. Yeah. That first vehicle was to get you that bag. Yes. Get you that hit. Yeah, yeah. The second vehicle was the call center, make you a little bit of money. Yep. Then that led into this, that, you know, bigger things, but it was that same transfer. It was that same skill of negotiating, sales, talking to people, following up. Yeah. And that's something you was doing your whole life already. A lot of people live life. When people say everything happened for a reason, why do you think that? Right. Why? So maybe your job, your dead-end job that you think is a dead end, you had to go do that for a reason, to learn how to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually learn how to talk to people will pay you 10 times as much, or just help you get through life better, you know? So those transferable skills is very important. So this in like 2010, 2011?
So in 2000, the end of 2009, got into a call center, worked there for 1.5 years. And after being there 1.5 years, man, I wasn't the most talented guy in that there was over 200 guys on the phones, guys and girls, right? And I was the first one to show up. I was the last one to leave. Like, when I say I was the hungriest one in the room, I literally was hungry. And like hungry. Like, I needed to make money to eat. Yeah. And
you had to.
Like, I was back
against the wall. Yeah.
Living in a halfway house, man, with bed bugs, and like I was down there, man. And so after 1.5 years, I felt confident enough with my sales ability. I looked at my girl, my fiance now at this time, and I'm like, hey, let's go do our own thing. Like, let's you know, another industry I knew nothing about, but it was lead gen, phone sales, and fulfillment on the back end. Someone said, you can buy leads of people that own timeshares and you can get them out of a timeshare. And so we bought a stack of leads and started in a bedroom. Me, my wife, she was the cold caller, I was the closer. And within 9 years, we built the largest timeshare exit company in the United States. Man. And that is facts.
So y'all pulled the list.
Of people that own time. No. You ain't buying those leads on list source, bro.
But that's crazy. It's the same. I mean, a lot of businesses are the same foundation.
It's the same model. Yeah. Different lead. Yeah. That's all it is.
It's a different lead.
It's the same. I use the same systems, processes, sales, like the nurture kit I used for 9 years, going on 10, I was building that business. And we had gotten it from a bedroom to, we had a 15,000 square foot office in Fort Lauderdale. Okay. We were building out a 30,000 square foot office, and we were my wife and I went to go buy a house.
Okay.
And in Fort Lauderdale, we bought a $7 million home on the Intercoastal. And when we went to the bank, the guy that was giving us our loan, which is now my financial advisor and a good friend of mine, he was looking at our financials and he's like, bro, what in the fuck do you do? He's like, you got a cash cow on your
coming
hands.
in. Yeah.
Like he goes, and you've only been doing this for how long? Like we were, at that time, we were probably seven years into the model. And he was like, bro, have you ever thought about selling this business? And I'm like, what do you mean? I did not know you could sell businesses. I had no clue. And I owned a company. I was having fun building it. Me and my wife at the time, we were making like $8 million a year netting.
Ooh,
Yeah.
in the pocket.
Net to the bank. Hip National, dude.
And less than 10 years before that.
Fucking smoking crack, dude. Pissing in a corner on bathhouse.
So that's how people need to understand, like, when you make that decision to get serious and make a change, like, it happens faster than you think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we were trying to get a mortgage. We ended up getting a mortgage to buy this house. And he was like, if you're interested in trying to sell this business, I'll put you in touch with a broker. You're going to have to get your financial, the structure of the business is going to have to be right. Because me and my partner were on a handshake deal. We didn't even have an agreement between each other. And we were doing about, at that time, about 30 million a year.
Yeah.
In gross.
In gross revenue.
Yep.
And then, okay.
Had 150 people in our office. I had 100 guys on the phones. And
this was another partner side from, so you and your wife was together.
Yeah.
Y'all had a part, okay.
Yeah. I can say today, a grimy ass dude when everything went down.
Yeah.
But so he put a deal together. We got a broker. And we spent a year and a half, getting our business structure in, all the right agreements and contracts, our financials in order for us to put a book together and send it out to private equity firms. So a year and a half went by. We ended up getting a book together, sending it out to 300 private equity firms. We had 3 offers, all over 9 figures. We had 147 million. We had like one in the 120s, I think, and one at 109 million. And
this how long like this process take for them from you sending it out to people coming back with offers?
So 300 private equity firms saw the book, and the broker, this is over the course of, let's say, 60 to 90 days.
All right,
and what they did is they vetted them, wanted to see how serious they were about their offer. They would fly in. So the private equity firms flew in. They would see our facility there in Fort Lauderdale. And we ended up, the 147 million ended up backing out. Then the offer we actually ended up signing an LOI with, a letter of intent, was because we were going to be able to retain 49% of our business.
Okay.
So they offered 54 million for 51%, but we still own 49% of the company.
Okay.
So there was going to be a second sale,
So
which
scale it and sell it for more,
which would have been well over a 9-figure exit.
So our last guest, you should check it out. That's crazy, bro. They'll be cool. They'll be real good friends, huh? Him and Shy.
Yeah.
They'll be real good friends. Now, our last guest, Shy Eubanks, this dude right here, I'm not gonna say same story, but similarities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he tatted up head to toe, but he sold the roofing company
For big boy money?
Man, he sold it for like 9 figures, but he left a good chunk in there because they're scaling it and
Second sale. Second bite at the apple, dude.
He just cashed out on like $4 million in whip stuff.
Love it.
He just cashed out.
He got to put that entrepreneur ring on, man.
And guess when he started the company? 2017.
Love it.
And he just sold it. Well, half of it, but
he's here, local.
Yeah, he here in Nashville.
Love it.
I could connect you with. Well, he got a crib in Puerto Rico. I think right now he in Colombia with Rampage Jackson. He'll talk about that. Yeah, so he doing this thing, but similar energy.
My story didn't turn out like his.
It didn't. But at the end of the day, it will eventually.
So we ended up going under an LOI. They did all their due diligence. It's funny when I hear people talk about like these little wholesale deals going bad before closing. I'm like,
that ain't
nothing, bro.
That ain't nothing.
So they spent about an additional 90 days, 4 months doing all their due diligence. And we had a closing date now. We had a closing date.
Okay.
And 60 days before the closing date, we ended up getting sued by two of the largest timeshare developers in the world. First lawsuit came. The private equity firm was like, we're still good. We want to go through with the deal. Second lawsuit came on Christmas Eve as I was flying in to go visit my family in Chicago. And once, I hit that elevation on the plane where your phone starts going off, dude, it was dang, dang, dang. And I'm like, why is my phone doing this on Christmas Eve? And I open it up and my attorneys are like, man, you got hit with another lawsuit. And the private equity firm ended up backing out. Me and my partner, for the first time in now almost 10 years, which we never argued, had a massive, massive falling out.
This was 27. What was this? 2018?
No, this was 2018 going into 2019.
Yeah.
And the lawsuit, I was in a 2.5 year lawsuit. I ended up settling it, everything in 2001. It ended up costing
2001, 2020, 2021,
19, 2021. Nothing like the beginning of,
all right.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, we just backed up another 20 years.
Yeah, man. So 2021.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was like 2000. Well,
and dude, that thing cost me all in. It probably cost me and my wife about $7 million to fight that lawsuit and settle it.
damn.
Yeah. And my attorney said, get off social media. You can't start another business. Like you need to just stay put until this lawsuit's over. So like when we filed a chapter
6, chapter 7.
It was a chapter 11
Okay.
on our company. So it would protect us from not being sued by any other timeshare developers because our insurance that we had on the company wasn't covering our lawsuit. Me and my wife were fighting this lawsuit out of our personal bank account. And the last 30 days of fighting that lawsuit, I remember I just got done with an 8-hour deposition. I was sitting across this attorney that was suing me.
Yeah.
And I was smoked, like smoked. He whooped my ass in this deposition. You know, he was testing my character. He was testing whether or not, I was a good father, good husband, whether my morals were in line. And I knew who I was as a person, but he was.
They go deep.
Deep.
I done a few depositions. I'm like, damn. This shit
So at
crazy.
the end, I was sitting at the table, man, with my hands like this, and he was sitting there, and he's got this bright red ass face with he beat red eyes. I didn't know if he was an alcoholic or the devil, dude. I still today don't know what he was. But he said something to me which ultimately puts me where I'm at today. He goes, hey kid, older dude. And I look up at him and he was like, if you can make it through this, you can make it through anything. And I was like, bro, you don't even know who you're talking to
you
right
don't
now.
know what I already made it
you
through.
don't know. But it took him to say, if you can make it through this, you can make it through anything. That 30 days of fighting that lawsuit cost me, just 30 days, cost me and my wife $500,000 in attorney fees. And I'm like, I went home that night. I told my wife, I said, they're going to take the money, whether we settle with them or we spend it with these attorneys.
Fighting them, yeah.
I said, the money's gone. I said, let's strike a deal with these people and just get our life back. Like, dude, my marriage was on the rocks at this point.
Yeah.
My kids are being drugged through the mud with us, which is no place for my kids to be. And I told my wife, I said, let's strike a deal. We ended up striking a deal. I had to injunct myself from that industry, meaning I was not allowed to go back into the timeshare exit space. Part of the deal, because I was the largest company in that space.
And they was like, you good, you done.
Yep, they were like, we will settle with you, but you can't come back in here. And I was like, done. I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Gave him a couple more $1 million. Thank God, me and my wife at that point had accounts structured, and we had millions of dollars in our homestead in Florida. You got a homestead. They can't touch your money that's in your house.
All right.
So me and my wife had like $2.5 million in a home already. And so me and my wife, after everything was said and done and we settled, we walked with a little over $4 million. So we were starting from scratch.
Still had some money,
but we had some money in the account. And dude, so I for 6 months was trying to figure out what business I was going to jump into, and a few guys said, "Hey, this wholesaling model is exactly what you were doing, just a different lead. It's a distressed homeowner, not a distressed timeshare owner." And I'm like, "Let's roll.
Let's do it."
I told my wife, I was like, I'm ready to leave South Florida." So I went from South Florida to Raleigh. My wife put me up in a condo. I opened a 2,000 square foot office with just me, and got 5 VAs because I put my ass back in the seat. I could have easily hired a team day one.
Yeah.
I had the money, I had the knowledge, I had the experience, I had the systems, I had everything, and I had built a sizable company. But I'm like, this is a brand new lead. I need to figure out the pitch, the KPIs, and everything before I start building a team.
So you could teach.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I bring somebody on, I have KPIs. I can say, hey, if you hit this, this, and this, and I give you this amount of leads, you're going to be able to make this amount of money.
Yeah.
So 4 months, I literally dialed in 2 computer screens, a headset, leads flowing in. It took me 4 months. My first 30 days, I think I locked up like 13 contracts. I was using my buddy to dispo them. And on my 4th month, I funded $100,000. And I immediately started. I funded some smaller deals before that, but 4th month, $100,000, and built a team. My first 12 months in the space did $2.6 million. Good on the first 12 months, did 2.6 million. Ran it at a 58% profit margin. Netted 1.5 million my first 12 months.
First 12 in the business.
First 12 months.
My first 12 ain't go like that. My first 12. But I would say you had a head start on everybody, man.
I knew what I was doing, man.
Green.
Yeah, I knew what I was doing.
Nah, bro, like that. The guy that we spoke about before this, that's in Dallas doing all the deals.
Yes.
I remember, I don't really know him too close like that, but I remember him talking at an event, and it was kind of simple. Like he was in another industry and then dove into this one and just kind of like, I think he hired a whole team out like day one though, you know what I'm saying? So like that just proves to show like the principles, you know what I'm saying, is the same. And no matter if it's for the timeshare or the wholesale business, those principles is what's going to get you the results.
Yes.
But like before we even go forward to that, like, damn.
It was a lot, bro.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big right there, bro. Because it's like you right there at the grass for like
60 days.
Yeah, it's like there's a difference between, people that ain't did it yet.
Yeah.
They think 100,000, they think 1 million or 5 million is you made it. But like people that is at that mark is like, I'm still far.
Yeah.
That contract you was about to sign was made it. Like,
dude,
we officially made it.
We were so sure that deal was closing. We were pulling our kids out of school already.
Yeah, like
we had dates to bring both sides of the family out to Hawaii and rent these amazing the trip of a lifetime for our entire family.
Entire family.
Like when I say we were spending the money already.
Before it,
And when that got taken, and then you immediately go into the fight of your life. Now for the second time, I'm going in for a fight of my life again. And I had to go in front of 150 people. At this time, we probably had 140, maybe 130, 140 people in our office. Cause like as we were structuring it, we started like trimming some fat. And dude, I had to go and stand in front of my entire company in our lunchroom and let them know that 95% of them today was their last day.
I'm like some Wolf of Wall Street.
Dude, I had that company longer than I had my son. Like when I tell you that was my baby and to see where it started, where me and my wife took it to, what we were getting ready to do with it, some multi-billion-dollar private equity firm saw value, like they saw a 9-figure value in what me and my wife built, man. And I was like, God damn, dude, this is nuts.
Yeah.
And it got stripped from us.
So like those companies, I ain't gonna get too deep into the details, but like did they like know you was about to sell and like
That's the only way this happened.
so they knew you was about to so basically they had been waiting.
Tipped off. We were
Yeah.
going to be the first timeshare exit company to get acquired by a private equity firm.
Yeah.
And when that acquisitions would have happened, they would have put a hurting on their business.
It would have
model.
hurt their business.
They would have put a hurting on them. So we don't believe, I know, they got a hold of our book. They saw it was being presented to private equity firms and they came at us with guns blazing.
Damn.
Yeah.
That almost feel like you had a snake in the grass. Somebody
100%
that was
it
close.
was. 100%
Somebody
it was.
that was close had to be selling them folks.
Yep.
You know, doing something, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It happened.
And you think about like sometimes you wonder why these companies go so far to protect proprietary info in situations like that. Exactly why, because somebody that's close has a different, you know, they might look at that deal and be like, I don't like the cut I'm getting out of it, and I could go make more by putting them into the ground, you know?
Yeah.
So, damn, bro, that's something big to go through, but it's always a silver lining on all of it, like you said, like, and I thought about it too, like, when that dude, that's how I would have felt when he would have told me that at the table. I'd be like, bro, it might seem stressful, but I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm gonna walk out this room and I'm gonna think about where I was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look at the money I still got from this and I'm gonna be like, cool, we gonna do it again.
Let's run it up again.
Yeah, we gonna do it again.
Yeah.
So now what I would say is you on your third run right now.
Yeah, man.
And I feel like this the one where I'm playing for keeps, you know?
Yeah.
So you got in the wholesale business, did very, very well, have been doing great, you know, over the last few years. So just talk to me about that experience, you know, just with the wholesale company and like what you plan to do, you know, from here.
Yeah. Great question. Because my answer is different today than it was 12 months ago.
Okay.
And I've been in the space coming up on 3 years.
I asked you this 12 months ago. You told me you was going to sell your wholesale business.
Yeah, it's way different today.
And I said, how you going to do that?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't never seen somebody sell a wholesale.
That was my intentions jumping into it.
Yeah.
And so I've done, right now, I'm at after this month, I'll be at just over $8 million in assignment fees. And I have an office in Raleigh, North Carolina, 5 acquisitions, 4 dispo. I got an entire team there. And I wanted to build a company and sell it. And about 12 months, 18 months ago, I realized that I got a skill set that damn near trumps everybody in this wholesaling space.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but I do have a skill set that not many people in this thing has, and it's scaling a call center. You put a lead in it, I don't care what lead it is. It could be a wholesale lead, it could be a solar lead, it could be a roofing lead, it could be any type of a lead over the telephone. I have a system and process that works in just about any business. And over the last 12 months, I have been able to get exposed to other industries. And I've had the pleasure of going in Andy Elliott. Like, dude, that guy's he's on a massive movement right now.
Bro, he
massive.
He doing some big stuff.
Yeah, and I've linked up with him. The wholesale model is amazing. I'm great at teaching somebody how to virtually wholesale. Do deals wherever they want. I can easily get somebody to be able to make, $10,000 to $20,000 a month from their kitchen table. Easy. To scale an operation like I have, not many people are ever going to do this. And what I built it in 2.5 going on 3 years. It requires a lot of my time. And I want to be able to take the wholesale model right now. We're putting the right people in place to be able to just manage now our systems and processes that we've put in there.
Okay.
So we got a manager for the first time, full-time manager
a sales manager.
He's a sales manager to manage the closers and dispositions.
Okay.
We just hired an ops manager. We have a closing coordinator. Like, we got everybody in place. Now we got to make sure they can run it.
They know what they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Really put out fires. That's really what
that's it.
That's what they doing.
It's
putting
it,
out
man.
Fires. Yeah.
Every day it's fires.
Make decisions that normally everybody look at you.
Yes, and they got to be able to manage that. So as long as, and I believe we have the right people, but it's, time will tell. Are they going to be able to stabilize the business for us? Because last year we did just over 3.2 million.
Okay.
This year our goal is 5 to 6 million. Which I think is very doable. And I want to be able to focus my skill set, which is virtual sales training. I want to be able to help people not only in the wholesale industry, but there is a wide, a blue ocean, let's call it, for me to go and train people on how to effectively sell over a phone.
How to just sell.
Sell.
Straight up, no matter what
the roofing industry and the solar industry right now are beating at my door, and I don't have the time. I don't have the bandwidth right now because I spend 50 hours a week in my wholesale operation to go and cater to these other industries. What I did in the wholesaling space, like a lot of people might be, I don't want to say shocked or amazed by it because I don't know if that's the word, the right words for it. They may be like, holy shit, that was quick and that was a lot. I am not satisfied with what I've done at all. This is the smallest operation I've had in 15 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or going on 13 years.
This is really like just a warm up. Like
this is
getting back to get ready.
Like, man, I went out and met with Andy and saw his operation and what I can, like the solar, I own a call center. Like I own a massive call center over in Pakistan. Yeah. I got a 9,000 square foot office over there. We got over 200 plus callers in it. And we built that thing from scratch. Like it's our building. It's our names on the lease. It's not some white label shit.
I asked you about that.
Yeah. It's a real business. And
it felt like you almost got offended when I was like, you own this, huh, bro? It's like, bro, this is my shit.
It's mine. It's mine and my partners. Yeah. I got a partner in it.
Yeah.
But that's a business model where we provide leads to the wholesale industry. We're getting ready to go into the solar space, the roofing space. Like if one thing I've never labeled myself as is a wholesaler.
Yeah.
Like you go to my social media and I just have virtual sales, sales and marketing. Yeah. Like I was very cautious of labeling myself as a wholesaler because I like the model, but this is not the end all be all for me. Like too many guys have told me, like when I go to their masterminds or I go to speak somewhere and they're like, damn, Eric, why are you even in this industry? Like you're way smarter than this. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's not for smart people, right?
I think wholesaling this is what I feel. This is what you're saying. But wholesaling is a stepping stone,
it's a stepping stone.
And it becomes, like at the end of the day, you just talked about to sell a company for $50 million. What wholesale company is doing that? Is
I don't know vehicle. If it's possible today.
Is it capability?
Yeah.
Like maybe a new Western or something like.
Yeah.
And the work it'll take to set up what they got going on is like, I could get that quicker.
Yeah.
Doing what you're talking about now. So it's like. One thing I wanted to touch on that I heard you say like multiple times throughout this show is like, I noticed that you strategically have partners in everything that you do. Like how important is for somebody to understand that? Like,
yeah, well, it's got to be the right one. Yeah. I always say getting in partnership or get in bed with somebody that has a skill set you don't have. Like, dude, I stay in my lane with my businesses.
Okay.
Like I'm not good. Like I'm good from a systems standpoint. With my CRM, I can generate leads and I can drive business.
Drive revenue. You bring the money in.
100%. I will the engine to the business. I can keep that thing running at a high level. The back end of it, the client relations, the customer service, the organization structure, like that ain't me, dude.
Yeah, I'm an integrator part.
I'm a bull in a china shop, dude. Yeah. Like I need people that can help make sure I'm not running into too many brick walls. Yeah. And when I put the right team around me, dude, I'm dangerous. But I need the right team around me or I'm dangerous, meaning it can be the other side of the dangerous.
But you got that's something big as an entrepreneur to realize because my biggest issue is having healthy partnerships. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had bad partnerships, and when you have a bad partnership, it's like, I don't even want to deal with it again. But like to hit the levels that I want to reach, that you looking to reach, like you gotta have partners. You can't do it by yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, bro, I'm seeing like these sales guys, like I see Andy a lot. I see the other dude, Jeremy
Weiner, whatever it is. Yeah.
I seen him speak also. It was dope. I seen him at Ryan Pineda event. He came in there. Yeah, he came in there. He didn't say nothing for like 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Like literally walked through the whole auditorium, looking people dead in their face. Nah. And then he finally gave somebody the mic and said, or he said something like basically like you on the phone with a like you call somebody up and it's like, this is the 5th person to call me. What's your offer?
Yeah.
First person froze up. This is the 5th person. What's your offer? It then went down the line. And it was dope. It was dope. But like, I'm not a sales guy. You know, I'm not gonna say I can't do it, but
of course,
I've never like worked a job for sales. Like, nah, I'm straight out of college with this, started off a business, so I know how to run my mouth. But
I know how to run my mouth.
Yeah, I know how to run my mouth. You know what I'm saying? And it's made me money.
I love it.
But like a lot of people, what's the word I want to say? Underestimate the skills, because I know I'm people.
Yeah.
Underestimate, and that's why I'm able to say I'm not a sales guy right now, because it would disrespect somebody that is good at closing his sales. And I didn't realize how much skill really is involved with sales. And really, when you ball it down, like sales and marketing, that's the 2 overall skills that if you don't have it, somebody on your team gotta have it. Both of those have to be inside of a company to push the needle forward. So like when you started realizing that skill that you've been pretty much working on for your whole life now, when you started realizing that, oh, okay, this could get me back to this potential sale that I had going on, 4 or 5 years ago, because like you just getting into like the educational space and this and that. So like you probably went into it thinking, okay, this is another lane, but you probably realizing now, wait, this lane
is a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one, so.
I had zero intentions on getting into education or being a sales trainer ever. Like it was not my intentions. The wholesaling industry showed me, not knocking anybody in this space, right? This is just my own feelings. If you can give somebody some information and they can make some money with it, awesome. But it only took me going to a couple masterminds and listening to the group or the holder of that mastermind, and I was able to pick apart their businesses. Yeah, they didn't even know I could do it. They were spitting out numbers and lead to contract and talk, and I was like, wait a minute, dude. This dude don't even know what he's talking about.
Know the numbers.
The people in the room don't know that, but I do. And I'm like, I'd go to another one, and I'm like, shit. I'm like, they're up here teaching all the wrong things. I'm like, wholesaling is nothing more than lead gen and sales. And I looked in the space and I'm like, all right, who's teaching sales right now? I think it was Steve Trang at the time.
Yeah.
Again, I respect Steve Trang, but I've done something Steve Trang ain't done before. I built a $34 million a year call center, banging out 650 contracts a month with a system that is duplicatable, and you know what I mean?
Basically, you've proved that your model, your system translate. It doesn't belong to just this industry. You know what I'm saying?
So, man, this organically happened that I'm even saying I'm a coach or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I had my wife set up a Zoom account, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do a IG saying, hey,
a webinar or something.
Click this link and I'll do free sales training.
Yeah.
And the first time I did it with no audience, dude, I think I had like 10,000 followers at the time. 100 people showed up.
Yeah.
And I kept them for 3.5 hours. And I was going through my process. And I was wondering why it only stayed at 100. And I didn't know my wife got a Zoom account where only 100 people could show up.
Could join, yeah.
So I was like, honey, damn, 100 people were in there for 3.5 hours. I'm like, let me do another one. Waited like 30 days. I did another one. Dude, 250 people showed up. I kept them for hours.
Yeah.
Like the number wasn't going down. Like, and I was like, damn. One more time I did it, dude, 350 people showed up. And after that one, me and my wife were like, all right, we got to do something with this.
Yeah, this is an opportunity.
Yeah. So, dude, 12 months of just simply offering sales training without a single paid ad. Hey, sign up for my sales training and I'll teach you how to lock up more deals. Dude, in 12 months, I did $760,000. Just free balling. I did free balling is exactly what I'm bootstrapping like a son of a gun.
Yeah.
It was Zoom calls. I wasn't even giving them recordings of the Zoom calls. They would show up every Tuesday. I would put 40 people in a class. Every Tuesday, I'd train them for an hour and a half. And what they learned on that Zoom is all they got. I didn't give them the recordings. I didn't give them my scripts. I didn't give them anything.
Builds that much value, and they kept showing up every week.
Every 6 weeks, I'd put 40 people in a class for $2,500. I'd do $100,000 a clip.
Every time.
Dude, and I would give myself a couple week break in between, fill another 40 up, $100,000. Couple week break, fill another 40 up, $100,000. And me and my wife were like, God damn, like there's a business here.
Yeah.
Then I started, because there were people, I would only sign people up for 6 weeks. You couldn't start in the middle of it. And then I'm like, all right, we got to do something different.
To where you're not waiting.
Yeah, I ain't waiting because they're going to go to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, these people spend money on it because they want the quick fix. So I'm like, all right, I took all my recordings, 6 weeks of my recordings on Zoom, and I put it into a platform, and I started selling the recordings of my Zoom.
Yeah.
And I kept the price the same, $2,500. My second 12 months, I did $2 million. And I was like, what the hell?
And at this point, you still just really
bootstrapping.
Not even focused on it. Yeah.
No, dude, it was a side hustle.
Yeah, side. Yeah.
So that was last year. I did $2 million in education. And I was like, I started right at the tail end. I started doing in-house masterminds at my office.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I don't spend any money in marketing. This is all organic traffic through my Instagram.
Yep.
Hey, come hang out at my office for 3 days. I'll teach you exactly what I know, how you can see a real operation. You can see real closers. You can see real numbers.
Real numbers, yeah.
Dude, first one I did at $3,500 and I did it at $4,500. And then my last one, dude, my average seat, 40 seats, $6,250. It was $200,000 mastermind for 3 days.
3 days. Right in your office.
In my office. Where I would teach them, then they would go out on the floor and they'd be able to see my team implementing what I taught them. Now it was me, my partner, Tony, and my wife.
Yeah.
But and that's where I think I separate myself. I don't know anyone else out there right now that says, come to my office and what I teach you, you're going to see my team doing it, and you're going to see real results on my board.
Yeah, in real time.
Dude, it was in my opinion, it was an industry disruption from an educational standpoint in this wholesaling space. Because it wasn't at some Marriott, it wasn't in a conference room. Yeah. All these numbers I'm showing you, come on, I'm going to open the door, spend 3 days here. And dude, the feedback I got from these masterminds, they're like, bro, I've never seen, and they've been to all, I ain't going to name anybody, right? But they've been to them all. Yeah. Because, they're all paying everybody thinking that the next one's going to give them the sauce.
Yeah. And I visually like the crowd run from here to there.
Dude, it literally.
To there.
Yeah.
The crowd just get bigger.
Yeah. So, I said, I told my wife, I said, listen, she's my business partner today. She's been my business partner for years, right? Ever since I started my first business, she's been right beside me. And I told her, I'm like, let's get into the educational space. And because we have something.
When this?
I made the decision 100% probably halfway through last year.
You done already did $1 million in it. Now you saying let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm like I can't turn my back on this. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just too in my face at this point, and I'm not even trying. When I say I wasn't trying, I wasn't even trying. I made it's just under 2 million.
Yeah.
It's between like 1.8 and 1.9 something.
Okay.
Just so you know. Because I'm all about real numbers.
About the numbers, yeah. Right down
I
to
say
the
2 million. It sounds sexier, but it didn't actually go over 2 million.
You capping, bro.
Yeah.
You capping, dog.
But I corrected myself. But I was saying I spent 5% of my time on that. Like legit, 5% of my energy went to making just under $2 million. And I told my wife, I'm like, I already see it now. I'm like, we stabilize this wholesale model. You let me put 80% of my time on this, dude, lights out.
Yeah.
Lights out.
This
Not
bigger.
only,
It's bigger. But it's back to this, man, it's something we touched on earlier, the whole transferable skills. So like building the timeshare business, your first thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Getting getting the work cheaper than it should be. Building the wholesale company, really all of that stuff is because at the end of the day, if you didn't have a wholesale company doing what it's doing and couldn't speak on it the way that you speak on it, you wouldn't be able to do it with, like you said, 5% of your time.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody else that is just fake, they got to put in 100% of their time
100%.
because they ain't even got the back end to show it or prove it. So they got to scramble to make the story look real where you're just telling the story.
I just got to show. Yeah.
I'm just showing what the story is instead of making a made up story. You know what I'm saying? So like, nah, bro, I mean, shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Everybody said, nah, I was just playing around with it. You know what I'm saying?
This ain't a coincidence I was able to do. Like, I didn't get lucky coming into the wholesaling space. The day I decided to pick the phone up, I knew what I was getting ready to do. You either hate me or love me in this industry. Period. End of story.
Straight up.
You either hate me or love me, and I ain't here to make any enemies. But at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of people that are sitting naked right now. Like, oh shit,
feathers,
oh shit,
that's just what
this
it
dude
is.
ain't going nowhere.
Nah, it happens, bro. It happens. You know what I'm saying? And like, I appreciate realness. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I was a college student. You know what I'm saying? I'm 20 years old, so you could kind of. I'm not gonna say I was green,
but there's so many people out there like that, and that's what frustrates me.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know the educational space was as corrupt as it is.
Yeah.
And I say that with confidence, dude. In my opinion, it's outright fraud.
Nah, it is.
I was at I don't know how much time we got left, and I will never mention someone's name on a podcast, but I was disgusted when I was asked to go speak at somebody's, I put my ass on a plane and flew to Fort Lauderdale to go speak at somebody's mastermind.
Okay.
And there was 40, 50 people sitting in this room. And him and his partner were there.
Okay.
And I flew there with my wife. So my wife was sitting in the back of the room as well. And he was standing in front of, 40 or 50 people saying, we do 20 to 30 deals a month. We do X amount of revenue and all this nonsense. And I actually believed it. The only reason I flew there is because I believed it.
You believed it, yeah.
And I was sitting in the back of his room with his partner. And his exact words, not verbatim, was, he goes, I can't keep up with this dude's lies. He goes, once he's done talking, they all come over and ask me, how much do you spend on marketing? He goes, we ain't doing any deals.
Yeah.
And dude, I literally, like putting all the emotions aside, like I literally wanted, like that dude I wanted to slap the dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Sitting here in front of 40 people and they might give you their last dollar. And they got kids at home. They got a family they got to feed. They maybe got a mortgage payment and they're going to bet on you. And nothing that you're saying is real. Yeah. Dude, that's fraud.
It is. Nah, it's a lot of...
I'm not okay with that.
I was believing... Look, I was one of them dudes at one point like, oh, for real? That, and believing it. And like when I found out, like, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So the real motive is people found out, oh, we could make all this money off of other people, but we're not actually doing it. And it's like some people feel like, well, I'm still giving them info. Well, dude, when I pay somebody for coaching or someone pays me for coaching, because I coach people also, they're not really paying you for the info. They paying you for the guidance and the experience
100%.
when they run into that brick wall.
Yep,
and
they
now
got you.
you could say, hey, all right, I've been through this before, bro. Do this, do that. And then now it's going to change, you know?
Yep.
Like, I got this quick story. One of my students, he was on the phone. I was on the phone with him, and he was having an issue with getting deals signed. He was like, man, I can't get any deals signed. So me being the person that's actually done deals, I've done a couple hundred transactions.
There you go.
I've done a little something.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going through my normal progression, like if my acquisition manager
Yeah.
comes talk to me. So the first thing I'm like, okay, what are you doing for marketing? Okay, how many leads are you getting?
Yeah.
Okay, what lists are you pulling? Okay, cool. Then I get down to how many contracts are you sending out? He goes, I say, how many contracts you sent out in the last 2 weeks? He goes, 2. I said, well, that's it right there.
There you go.
I said, let me guess. You live in the mindset of you have to get them to the price before you send out a contract. He's like, yeah, ain't that how you do it? Like, nah, negotiations don't start until you put the contract out. So, boom, he starts sending contracts out. Within 2 weeks, he locks up 3 or 4 deals.
There you go.
If your mentor can't do that for you, then you should be scared, because now it's like this guy is looking at you as like the Spider-Man meme. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do either. We both pointing at each other looking dumb. You know what I'm saying? So like even when I throw my masterminds, bro, like I never wanted to label myself a wholesaler. So like I teach people real estate, bro. Like wholesaling is the stepping stone that got me into real estate investing. So when we throw our events, I let them come here and we go to my projects. We go see that. I bring my contractors out. I bring my bankers, you know what I'm saying? To where the reason I do that, because I know y'all gonna go talk to them without me there. Like you said, that dude partner slipped out and said, I can't keep up with his lies. You think my banker, my contractor, all these people gonna be vouching and the stories are consistent if it's a lie, you know what I'm saying? And that, at the end of the day, it's because I've been lied to. So it's like, I want to make sure that y'all can see all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I tell my students, if I lost money on the deal, like,
of course,
no, like these dudes,
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
They swear they ain't never even lost money before.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah,
so
man.
Everything just peaches and cream, you know? So, man, bro, we could talk about this stuff for hours, bro. Like, I've been in it for 5 years, you in it for 3 years, but no matter if it's wholesaling, roofing, whatever, life is just capped. Like, 80% of people out here capping, 20% of people actually doing it.
Doing the damn
That's
thing.
for any industry,
I
honestly,
agree.
bro. Like, I probably had cappers in the timeshare industry.
Yes, everywhere.
Claiming they was doing it.
Yeah,
you know? So, man, we about to be wrapping up here, man. What's like just some advice? Like, what's your favorite piece of advice that you like to give people before we get you out of here? Just for the viewers.
Man, get around. Like for me, it was people, places, and things. It really was. Make sure you're hanging out with the right people, you're hanging out at the right places, and you're doing the right things. If you are getting into wholesaling, like you ain't getting into real estate, you're getting into sales and marketing. You know, don't pay attention to social media. That shit is fake.
It is.
This is a grind. Like it is a grind, and you got to be mentally prepared to go to war. Like the work in the model is actually really easy. It's the emotional roller coaster you're getting ready to go through. And if you ain't around the right people, it makes it that much tougher. So I would always be, you want to out self-develop everybody. You want to out mindset everybody. You want to out skill everybody. Like all of that stuff, man. So if you're getting ready to jump into this, your first deal is going to be the hardest deal. And once you've proven the concept, don't celebrate too long. Get on to the next one because it's a momentum business. And, you know, as long as you don't give up, a lot of people, I hear, I don't know if the number is right. There's a 95% failure rate in the wholesale industry. I don't know if that is accurate or not, but it sounds about right. So
I mean, business was like 90%.
It's crazy.
Fail within first 5 years.
Get around people, and there's enough out there where you can get your circle right. But get in the right circle, as long as you don't give up, you still got a shot. As soon as you give up, all bets are off.
I agree with that 100%. You only really lose when you quit.
You quit.
Because
that's it.
like at the end of the day, as long as you have time, you can do whatever. That's why that's the most important thing. Like if you die, then all right, you don't have any time. So as long as you wake up that next day, then you could keep putting one foot in front of the next. You could make that next call.
Yep.
You could go drive and find that next. I know you don't like the whole concept of getting out there in person, but for the developers out there, we love seeing the dirt. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like again, and I want to piggyback off what you said. Don't even just focus on pulling the list and making the calls. You said it's a whole mindset. You know, you need to be working on your circle. You need to be working on your mindset. Maybe you need to be getting active and working on your health, hitting the gym.
Yep.
We doing the 30-day challenge that I just started today. Getting active, working out every single day. Yes, Sundays count for 30 days straight. Okay?
Let's go.
All of these things help you become successful, y'all. Like, look at successful people. Look at people that have gained true wealth. Bro, if you think money is wealth, you're crazy, because if we wake up in a week and they say, well, Bitcoin or this is money, everybody gonna be chasing the cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? So like when I look at true wealth, it's all these things we just talked about. Like, yes, you got to get your finances in order, but sometimes in order to get your finances in order, you need to get this in order. You need to get your mindset in order. Sometimes to get your mindset in order, you got to get your spirituality in order. You got to get that right. And sometimes to get all of that right, you need to be healthy so you can even have the ability to do it. Yeah. So it's a combination of all those things. Eric, appreciate you, bro. This has been a dope, amazing episode. I always like to, hear people like story from the beginning, because our viewers, the normal, person, we all live life. We don't walk the same shoes, but I don't care if you a trust fund baby. I don't care if you straight from the trenches. I don't care. You dealt with something in your life that was tough, something that you had to get through. So just watching somebody that go through something and get on the other side is inspiration and motivation. That's why we do this, bro. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, comment, get this out there, because the more people we can inspire to believe, to just get up and do some shit. Yeah. Do something. Like something. We'll have a better life. We'll have a better world. So that wraps up another episode. We out.